And as the sun begins to set, we return to Laker Turf Stadium for another matchup of the Cortland Red Dragons taking on the Oswego State Lakers. But this time, it's the men's team going head-to-head with playoffs looming large. We thank you for joining us here on WTOP 10 for coverage of the Oswego State men's lacrosse team. I'm Kyle Spizak, co-sided by my partner Paul Beatty. And Paul, the Cortland Red Dragons currently sit at 5-0 and are the first team in the SUNY to clinch a playoff berth. While the Oswego State Lakers sit at 4-1 after falling to the Geneseo Knights, but with a win tonight, they officially punched their ticket into the postseason.
Well, Kyle, it's definitely a very exciting night to be an Oswego State fan, but with the excitement comes the nerves. As we know, Oswego is off to a slow start. They were off to a slow start to begin the season, going 0-3. They won 9 straight, and then they ended up losing to Geneseo in pretty dominating fashion. So let's see if they can pick up a win tonight and punch their ticket.
And as we mentioned, the stakes could not be higher for both programs, but this is not the only game going on tonight. But we're going to take a look at the SUNY standings within the conference right now. And sitting at number 1 are those mentioned Cortland Red Dragons, 5-0. And just behind them in the number 2 spot is the the Geneseo Knights, and Oswego sits at number 3. Potsdam follows. Oneonta follows that, both 2-3. Brockport 2-3 as well. New Paltz falls to 1-4, and Plattsburgh 0-5 on the season. So a bit of a disparity between each team in the SUNY. At least the top third of it is kind of really pulling away from the bottom half of the conference.
They definitely are. You see, they have winning records in the conference, and overall, you see Oswego has the same record against Cortland. They're both 9-4. With Geneseo winning today, they're 10-6. So we can see if Oswego can jump around in the standings here.
And some of the players that have been key to the success for both teams. We're going to first look at Cortland with Sam Rothman coming in, leading the SUNY in goals this season. 41 goals, 14 assists, 55 total points on the season with 19 ground balls as well. Really just dominating all over the field, Paulie.
Absolutely, and that's what you want when you are cheering for Oswego State. A lot of offense, as you can see with Geneseo. Last game, they almost won by 10 goals, so you want that offensive production from your guys.
And for the Lakers on the other end, 33 goals, 7 assists, and 40 points on the year is number 11, Corey O'Connor, 10 ground balls as well. Lakers have kind of spored by committee throughout the entire team, but it's really been O'Connor that has been the sharpshooter for this Lakers team.
Absolutely, and you need him to get going today because Cortland is good as anyone, and if he gets his production up today, then they're going to have some trouble out there on defense for Cortland.
And one of the notable storylines in this game for both the men's and women's team is that they have not won a single game against the Cortland lacrosse programs. The men's team 41-0 of all time for Cortland against the Oswego State Lakers from 1980 until now, along with about 28 SUNY titles and 4 national championships as well. Cortland, a dominant spring sports school, really shows on this lacrosse team with those 4 natties and 28 SUNY championships.
Absolutely. I mean, Oswego is trying to rewrite the history books here and literally and figuratively slay the dragon. So a win here today would be historic, and so that's what they're going to try and do today, and we're going to see if they can.
As we are about a minute away from things getting underway here at the Laker Turf Stadium in Oswego, New York, one of the things to notice between these two teams, Paulie, Cortland, the bench size on their sideline near doubles the roster size of the Oswego State Lakers.
There is a literal Red Sea out here on the Laker turf, and it's going to be a lot for Oswego to handle, but I mean, hey, they're on top of the SUNY standings with Cortland, so we can see if they can get something done here.
And we mentioned the high-scoring goals with Corey O'Connor for the Lakers this season, but some other players to keep an eye on within this Lakers team is number 8, Emmett Starwitz. May not have that high goal total, but as a freshman, 29 assists on the year, a real playmaker for the Lakers, able to move the ball around the field and find the open slots where he has a crashing attack or just finds the open lanes to get those shots for his teammates, which has been very successful as the Lakers 4-1 on the year. What are some things you're looking for within the Lakers and Cortland on both sides of the ball to be successful in this game?
I mean, I know it sounds a little cheesy, but offense and defense, you're going to make sure that your goalie doesn't look like Swiss cheese out there, and you're going to look for a lot of offensive production between the two teams.
No doubt. But we're going to kick things over to break real quick, and when we come back, we will have face-off and the first quarter action. Don't go anywhere, right here on WTOP 10.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West 1st Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see? All these clubs are looking.
They looking for me.
There's hockey,
There's improv,
so much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free.
Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are tainted. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are tainted. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
On bench, junior number 7, Kristen Lembo. On attack, junior number 9, Kate Yancey. On attack, sophomore.
Katie and Paul, we're just minutes away from things getting underway. And we were talking about some of the things we're looking forward in this game. You mentioned offense and just playing strong defense. Kind of the simple parts of the game, but the most effective parts as well. If you can defend well and keep the other team out of your zone, makes it a lot harder to get any goals scored against you. On the other end, you got to start peppering the goalies on both ends.
Absolutely. Cortland leads the SUNYAC in goals per game in 13 and about a fourth. So getting to that goalie quick and early, it could very well set the tone for today's game.
And another key for Cortland is playing the game clean here today. 69 penalties this season compared to a 34 for their opponents. So taking at nearly double the rate at which their opponents are. However, it hasn't been too detrimental to them yet as they stand 5-0 within the conference.
Absolutely, but you're going to want that other guy out there. I mean, you're going to want as much even strength as you can because a man down is never a good option.
Now, as things are set to get underway, take a look at Oswego's keys to the game as well. Shutting down the man opportunity is a huge, huge part for the Lakers. With the man up, with the man down opportunity, Cortland scoring at about 36%. So a huge key to this game is going to be Oswego staying out of the box as well.
Absolutely. Again, you're going to want that other guy out there. Keep it clean again and even strength as much as we can here for Oswego State.
Causing turnovers as well. Oswego with 234 turnovers on the year. Cortland with 211 as the starting draw is underway. And the ball goes the way of the Cortland Red Dragons. With it now is Alex Thrasher. Thrasher's going to work it down to Sam Rothman, the man on the hot streak for the Red Dragons, back behind the net to Stecker. Stecker's throwing it back up top. And back over to Scanlon. Scanlon's going to bring it back down to Rothman. Rothman kicks it back behind the net once more. Back out to the wing. Up to the point once more in Scanlon. Scanlon coming near the near side sideline. Going to dump it back off to Rothman. Rothman works it up the wing. Drops it back down, back to the X position. The X coming up and around with Stecker. Stecker's going to dump it off to the top with Scanlon. Scanlon driving down in. He's going to try to chip that one off to Stuver, but he couldn't connect on that. Picked back up by the Dragons. Back over to Stuver. Stuver at the high point with it. Tries driving down in. Gets stopped. Kicks it back to Scanlon. Scanlon driving down the far side wing. He takes a shot, and that one's going to be blocked down and away.
That was a great save there by the Oswego State goalie, but a lot of good spacing here to start it off for Cortland.
And starting in the net for the Lakers is Seamus Hand making that save. He's coming down now with some speed is Tyler Stevenson. Stevenson gets stuck at midfield. He's going to dump it off down to Corey O'Connor. O'Connor down the near side wing, cuts back inside, takes a shot. That one sails just left of the net. 13:31 left to go in quarter number one of play as Liam Sexton's going to start this down deep in Cortland's zone. He's going to work it up towards the sideline. He dumps that back off to Starwitz. Starwitz starts with it. Gonna do a quick move, works it towards the center of the field. Fake pass, gonna rip this one himself, and he finds the back of the net. The Lakers take the first goal of this game on an absolute rip from Emmett Starwitz.
And that was just a great deke from the point and then putting it right in back of the goal, and that's exactly what Oswego needed. Now it's a defensive game, but keep it going here, boys.
And that's the 8th goal on the year for Starwitz, leading his team in assists, but shown right there, he can get it done with the shot as well. A high slot shot, just gets some momentum going and just lets one loose.
It's never bad to be a team player and dispense those assists, but sometimes you want to be greedy and take a shot, and that one worked out for Oswego there.
As Oswego wins the draw here, bringing things back down into their own end, trying to pass it off to Jackson Cummings. Couldn't connect on that, but he's able to pick it back up. And an intercepted pass by Cortland. Stover coming down, and Stover gets a shot on the turnover, and we have a tie game just 30 seconds after that last goal. I mean, Paulie, it really switched real quick based off of that turnover.
Yeah, I mean, they just caused off a turnover. Obviously, that was one of the key games we were talking about for Oswego, and they give it right away. Breakaway, no shot, and we're sitting here tied.
As face-off at center field once again. That one's going to be won and pushed down the field by Logan Prescott. It's going to be picked back up by Cortland. They're going to dump it off to their netminder in Wagner. Wagner starts things up by passing it off to his D-man in Triolo. Over to Thrasher. Thrasher with it at midfield, crosses across, working it down into Oswego's zone. He'll dump it down into the corner to Rothman. Rothman behind the net now to the goal scorer in Stecker. Stecker working it to the far side wing, back to the top with Kredichaville. Works it over to Cunningham. Cunningham at the high point. He's going to drive it down, passes it back up to Eccles. Turned over by Cortland, picked up by Oswego. Oswego coming down with some speed, trying to work it down in the zone. Gavin Bean was trying to get that down the field to Max Hahn, but couldn't connect on the pass.
He had a full head of steam there, Kyle.
As the pass couldn't connect, but it's picked back up by Moringer. That one's going to be passed up the field to Kredichaville. Back at the point to Eccles. Eccles going to take this one to the far side with some pressure on him from the Oswego defense in Prachunas. Back to Cunningham. Cunningham takes it down the wing, dumps it down low to Rothman. Rothman working it back behind the net, bringing it back up to the point. Now Eccles is driving in. Eccles gets stopped, has to bring it back out to Yancey. Yancey with it across the top of the point. Driving down in and a shot off, but Seamus Hand gets down low and able to get the net on that one.
And again, what a great play by the netminder. Obviously, a lot of good spacing for Cortland still. A lot of good passes, but still can't get it. We're still tied here, Kyle.
As working it up the field now is Cummings. The defenseman will drop back as the Lakers cross midfield. And brought back down by O'Connor with 10:52 left to go in quarter number one of play. Back behind the net to Sexton. Sexton working it outside on the far side wing. Bringing it back to the point in Starwitz. Starwitz trying to work it around facing some heavy defense off of Thrasher, able to work it down behind the net. And in front, a great chance there, just blocked away. Hayden Coney hits the post on a weird angle shot. He was falling down, but was still able to get that one off. And spinning across now is Macknick, the defenseman, going all the way down the field. Back behind the net to Rothman. Rothman's going to work it out front, trying to get a shot off his Cortland. That one just goes a little bit wide. Might have tipped off of the top of the stick of Seamus Hand.
Sometimes in that sequence, you gotta give it to your goalpost, helping out a little bit, but that one for Cortland just sailed over.
As Rothman's going to get that back up to the point in Stuver. Stuver's going to work that outside. Crashing down was Kavanaugh, but he gets pickpocketed by Srota. Ball lost in front of the net. Couldn't get the shot off was Rothman. Slew of defenders getting in the way of that one. Oswego start working the other way. Up the center of the field, working it to Stevenson. Stevenson has it at center field. Down to Broadman. Broadman with some heavy pressure on him from Moringer. Couldn't connect on the pass to Aspinall. Aspinall now going for Moringer. He's able to get it across midfield, and Cortland's able to work it down into Oswego territory. No sticks on the ball. Looks more like soccer with a lot of kicking going on, and the refs are going to blow a whistle there. And it will be Cortland ball as they will remain possession. And working it down the near side wing is Sam Rothman. Rothman back behind the net to Stecker. Stecker works it up to Stuver. Stuver with some pressure on him from Srota. Stuver working it down, and Stuver gets a shot off, and he sails that one right of the net. That one didn't have a chance of going in, Paulie.
But that one was just absolutely whipped. I mean, if I were down there, I mean, duck and cover people, because there's no way that maybe I could even stop that.
As Stecker's going to take this one back to the behind the net. Faces some heavy defense, has to do a couple direction changes, gets it out to the point in Stuver. Stuver with a shot, that one's going to go left of the net. Still Cortland ball. No shots on net for the Red Dragons in a couple of minutes. Couple shot attempts, nothing on net. Now working it up to the point in Scanlon. Scanlon's taking it down the wing. He finds a guy behind the net. Behind the net working out is Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh now works it back behind the net again. And in front, and a huge save from Seamus Hand. Off an absolute ripper of a shot from Stecker.
What a great series of events by Cortland. I mean, they're getting the pressure, but Oswego is being very physical with them. Had to force him to take a shot, and another great save by Seamus Hand.
And a turnover picked up by Rothman. He's going to take that down the far side wing. He's going to pause and wait for his team to join him on the rush a little bit more. Set up a play. Now Ryan Smith with it at the far side. He'll work it up the middle over to Rothman behind the net. Back over to Smith. Smith will work it back to Michael. Michael with it now. Coming down the far side wing, and he's able to get a shot off on the rush, and that's a 2-1 lead now for the Cortland Red Dragons.
Oswego just pulled off just a little bit, just enough for it to go in, and like you said, now it's Cortland here, 2-1.
And Josh Michael just able to get the inside shoulder on that one, drives down hard on the near side. On his strong hand side, able to whip one just within the post, and Seamus Hand, 2-1. The Red Dragons now lead, but still a tight contest with 7:15 left to go in the first quarter.
Definitely not a mountain to climb yet, but definitely a hill. So Oswego better start to capitalize here early, and they're not seeing a lot of offense time here, Kyle.
As Thrasher works this one back down the field. Behind the net to Rothman. Rothman working it around once again. Kavanaugh on the far side. Picked up on the far side wing and slowed down by Houghton. Houghton works it back to the goal scorer in Michael. Michael doing the same play we just saw before. Same exact look, except this one just wide of the net. Couldn't connect on it. But the Lakers giving up the same exact play that they allowed a goal on just minutes ago.
I mean, definitely got to try and switch up the defensive playbook here. I mean, that can't happen twice in a row, and that was just a bounce away of going right back in the net.
And heavy defense from Max Kahn. And a shot on net, and that one's going to go in. Sneaks through the 5-hole of Seamus Hand. And another tally on the board for the Cortland Red Dragons, with Ryan Smith being the goal scorer on that one. Now a 3-1 game, 6:09 left to go in period number 1.
It's definitely not what you want to see if you're Oswego. And, I mean, going down 2 goals early still in the first quarter, I mean, now it might be a little bit more than a hill to climb here, Kyle.
As things falling apart quick for the Lakers. Got that first goal of the game, but 3 unanswered since. As a pile of bodies falls to the turf, but the ball is going to squeak loose, and after a couple of more battles, nobody can possess it. Finally picked up by the Red Dragons, working it down into Oswego territory. Bringing it back up the sideline, working towards midfield before turning around and working it back behind the net to Rothman. Rothman brings it back over to Stecker. Stecker works it back up the wing, and this one's going to be picked up by Stuver. Stuver drops this one back to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh drops it off to Scanlon. Scanlon looks behind the net and crashing a player in front in Kavanaugh. They couldn't connect on that. And good defense from Max Hahn, fighting off a slew of Red Dragons, able to pick up the possession for the Lakers and run this one up to about midfield before he drops it back to Seamus Hand.
This is where they got to capitalize, Kyle. 1 goal here can make all the difference and get the rally going as they lose the ball.
And another turnover for the Lakers as Moringer is going to pick up this one, takes it across the half field himself. Back off to Rothman. Rothman working it down the near side wing, back behind the net once more. Back to Rothman. Rothman gets this up to the point, and Scanlon. Scanlon walks this one down before electing to pass off to Rothman again. Rothman on the near side wing, trying to get a pass off to Scanlon. Couldn't connect on that. That easily goes into the net of Seamus Hand. Picked up and ran out by Jackson Cummings before he throws that one down. It's going to be picked up and thrown to the side. Broadman with it now. Back to Sexton. Broadman with it at the near side wing. Going to drop it off to Corey O'Connor. O'Connor, no goals in this contest yet. As we mentioned, one of the leading scorers in the SUNYAC, 6th in the SUNYAC, number 1 on this Lakers team. So O'Connor's going to work this one back to Starwitz. Starwitz, who did score the goal for the Lakers, crashing down the far side wing, dumps it off back behind the net before it's picked back up by O'Connor again. To the point in Connor Aspinall. Aspinall goes down the far side wing, tries to get a shot off, too much pressure on him, couldn't get it off, back behind the net. This one's going to be picked up by Hayden Coney. Liam Sexton in front for Coney, connects on it, but just wide of the net as they're battling for possession. This one's going to be elected Lakers ball, as Coney's going to take this one out. Gets it up to O'Connor. O'Connor with a rip, and that one just goes left of the net. Paulie, we're starting to see the Lakers get some scoring chances now. It seemed like it was almost a good 3/4 of that first period that they just weren't able to get anything on net.
It was absolutely some great pressure, and as the clock is ticking down with about 3:20 left to go here in the first quarter, I mean, they had a lot of good scoring chances, but what I'm seeing right now is that it looks like this ball is like greased up or something, Kyle. A lot of times where the ball is either in the air or on the ground and no one seems to want it, but that was a great scoring chance by Oswego, but if they keep the same pressure, good things may come.
As Ryan Eccles works this one down the wing and then back behind the net before picking up some speed, trying to crash down towards the cage. He's a one-man show, does it himself, tries to get an underhand shot, but sails it just left of the net. Eccles taking that one all by himself. Couldn't get anything off of it, but a great effort nonetheless for the Red Dragon. up to the point in Credo Chaville. Back over to Eccles. Eccles works it down to Cunningham. Cunningham off to Rothman. Rothman trying to work it to the center. A shot, and that one's going to be shut down by Seamus Hand.
And that's the one thing that's exciting about this game is that even though he's letting 3 goals, he's making a lot of good stops. So keep an eye on Seamus Hand. It could still be the difference maker. We're still early here, Kyle.
As Jackson Cummings works that one over to Corey O'Connor. 2:11 left to go in the first quarter of play here at Laker Turf Stadium. The Cortland Red Dragons lead the Oswego State Lakers by a score of 3-1. Picked up behind the net after a good defensive play by Alex Thrasher. Thrasher is going to dump this one back off to his goalie in Travis Wagner. Wagner works this one up to Cunningham. Cunningham's going to pass it across midfield. Picked up by Stecker. Stecker with it, works it over to his teammate in Stewart. Stewart with it now in a shot. Stewart is able to put that one in, crashing down with some speed, avoids the defender and able to go up and over the top of Seamus Hand. 4-1. The Lakers now trail as the Cortland Red Dragons have put the pedal on the gas and have not let up.
I mean, if you saw that play develop, I mean, he was left wide open, and he kind of did a little shimmy shake with his stick there, and he just, like you said, right over the goalie's head. Really not a chance, and 4 unanswered goals here for Cortland. Oswego, it's starting to look like a mountain here, Kyle.
As the draw is won back to Cortland, but a slew of Oswego defenders on him, fighting it off. This one's going to be picked up and run the other way by Rob Nelson. Nelson's going to get midfield before he dumps it off to Broadman. Broadman works it to Jackson Cummings with a shot, and that one just whipped, but left of the net from the defenseman.
And that one, they really needed that one to connect there, Kyle.
As taking this one out from behind the net will be Liam Sexton. He does a jab step, creates a little bit of space, trying to create a mismatch on the timing. Back to the goal scorer for the Lakers in Starwitz. Starwitz brings it down the near side wing. A fake pass, spins to get inside. A shot bounces off the turf, but into the net of Travis Wagner. And a flag thrown on the field from the officials, but Cortland with possession. They will keep things going for the time being. Worked up to Gillespie. Gillespie's going to work this one down the wing. It's picked up by who else but Sam Rothman. Rothman works it behind the net to the other side. This one's going to be Yancey. Yancey working it up the field, brings it back towards the half field point before Stuver just drops this one back to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh back to Stuver. Back behind the net to Folkween. Back to Kavanaugh. And Kavanaugh tracking back before he starts an approach. Slows back down before creating some speed. Stop, turns, looks for a pass, gets it to Stuver. Back down, looking to Rothman. A shot comes from the point in Scanlon, but that one too many bodies in front, bounces off a couple of legs and goes wide. 7 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play.
And a lot of good pressure here by Cortland. I mean, Oswego really having no offensive time. I mean, we're just really saying Seamus' Hand's name a lot just because there's been a lot of shots on goal, and he's been trying to get all of them out, but 4 have snuck by, and so we'll see if Oswego here in the second quarter, once these 7 seconds roll down, if they can generate some sort of offensive prowess.
And the Lakers down a man for the next 30 seconds as Emmett Starwitz finds himself in the box, and they'll just run off those 7 seconds. No play is going to be attempted, but Paulie, the Lakers find themselves down a man now, and Cortland on the man-up opportunity. We mentioned 36.4 conversion rate this season. They're already up by 3 goals. How detrimental would it be if on the man advantage they're able to slot another one in on Seamus Hand?
I mean, it's a great percentage, and obviously they're really good with a man-up, so it'll be very detrimental going down by 4 goals. I mean, we said it earlier today, they want to slay the dragon, but every now and then when Cortland scores, it's definitely not looking good for the Oswego State Lakers.
Seamus Hands faced 9 shots just in that first quarter alone. He kept 5 of them out on saves. Lets 4 go by at a .556 save percentage. Really keeping the Lakers in this game. He's made some really difficult saves, and he's had to face a lot of shots just within the first 15 minutes of this frame.
I mean, absolutely. He's getting a lot of action here, and so it's wearing him down. But, I mean, stay like that brick wall mentality and see if you can stop some of the shots coming from Cortland.
And one of the matchups we were watching before this game got underway to keep an eye on was Sam Rothman versus Corey O'Connor, the 2 leading goal scorers for each team. But so far in this game, both of them have been silent, Paulie. No goals, only 1 shot for Rothman for the Red Dragons. And on the other side of things with the Lakers, O'Connor, 2 shots, but neither of them find the back of the net either. But a turnover on O'Connor's stat line, and 1 as well for Rothman.
I mean, I think they studied. They definitely looked at the book and knew that these guys are potent offensive players, and keeping them quiet for the rest of the day, I mean, it's definitely possible, but we can see if anyone can get red hot here in the next coming quarters.
As we get set to get things underway again here at Laker Turf Stadium. Starting with the ball will be the Cortland Red Dragons in Sam Rothman. As we await the penalty to be put back up on the scoreboard, the Lakers will be down a man for the next 23 seconds. And things are underway here. Passing it around the outside of the zone is the Red Dragons. Back behind the net, they find their man in Rothman. Rothman sneaks out a little bit, and a shot from the point. Ryan Scanlon sniped one from far out, and the Red Dragons strike on a man advantage once again. This team's too dangerous to find yourself in penalty trouble, Paulie.
I mean, what an absolute ripper from the point. I mean, you couldn't see that with a speedometer. So, I mean, 5 unanswered goals here for Cortland, and it's not looking good for Oswego.
And Paulie, if you're the Lakers, like you mentioned, 5 unanswered, what do you have to do to change the tone and really get the momentum going your way?
I mean, first of all, get a hold on the ball. I mean, Oswego is not holding on to the ball as much as Cortland, as we see there. It slipped out of the net. But, I mean, there is no offensive production here for Oswego. I mean, they got the 1 goal early. I don't want to say there was any cockiness, but Oswego has definitely taken their foot off the gas rather.
As dropping that pass is Scanlon, but he's able to easily collect it once more. No pressure on him. Back over to Stuver. Stuver works it back down to Rothman. Back behind the net now is Stecker. Stecker working it up to Scanlon. Scanlon trying to work it towards the center. And a fake shot from Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh rips this one. Goes right of the post. No work needed to do for Seamus Hand on that one. But Cortland maintains possession of the ball behind the net. And now back dropped off to Rothman. Rothman trying to get something off. Looking up to the point, and Rothman's going to pick this one back up. Rothman over to Scanlon. Scanlon going to drop this one to Yancey. Yancey's coming down the near side wing. Yancey with a shot, and he's going to poke that one near side short on Seamus Hand and make it 6 unanswered now. This Red Dragons team is red hot, Paulie. They cannot be stopped right now.
They are breathing fire down Oswego's back, and it may not be a good time for Oswego, but, I mean, there's a lot of game left, and we can see if Oswego can get something for themselves, but right now, it's all Cortland.
And very characteristic to the women's lacrosse game we saw just a few hours before this one. Cortland leading 8-0 at the end of quarter number 1 in that game. Now 6-1 with 13:30 left to go in quarter number 2 here in Oswego. Delaney working this one down before he turns and throws it back up to Stecker. Stecker drops it off to number 44, Ryan Smith. Smith's going to dump that off to Michael. Michael does the same to another teammate. As working down in, trying to look for a shot, is number 16, Franzoni. Franzoni dumps it off back behind the net. works it back up the wing to Rothman. Rothman looks for somebody in front. Seamus Hand's able to get a stick on that as a speeding shot went by from Ryan Smith, but Hand able to nick it just out of the way. And a wraparound opportunity. Seamus Hand diving around on the goal line, able to keep that one out as the Lakers are going to push this one back as far as they can, and it's going to be picked up and brought out by Owen Spearing.
That was just another great save by Hand there. Even though he's let in 6, he can still keep him in this game here, Kyle. It's still really early.
And a missed pass, but it's going to be picked up with no pressure nonetheless for Connor Postal. Postal worked that one up, trying to find it down to Hayden Coney, but he could not connect on that one. As Cortland works things up the near side wing. Passed off to Franzoni. Franzoni bringing this one back behind the net. Picked up by Stecker. Stecker's going to rip that one over to Rothman. Rothman back up to the point. Back down to Franzoni. Franzoni trying to crash in on his own. Too many people in the way, has to pass it back out, and a whipped shot hits a body, goes wide from Rothman, but it's picked back up by the Red Dragons. Trying to poke it back behind the net, back up to Smith. Smith with it at the near side point. He's just working it back. He's got some pressure on him from the Lakers. Smith trying to work it down. He's getting eaten alive down by Colton Mayer. Over to Michael. Michael tried wheeling that one down the right side and whipping one, but it goes just wide of the net, and this one will go out of bounds. The Break with Scott and Kaylee. The Break with Scott and Kaylee, a show giving you a taste of the exciting life of SUNY Oswego students. Join hosts Scott Brubaker and Kaylee Richmond as they host interviews, compete in challenges, and bring you along on their latest adventures. The Break with Scott and Kaylee airs Mondays at 9:30 p.m. only on WTOP 10. As Seamus Hand starts things back up behind the net. Works things out to Owen Spearing. Back up to the center of the field for Tyler Stevenson. Stevenson's able to get it across before it's picked up by Alex Thrasher. Thrasher with it coming down with some speed, hauling through the middle of the field, working his way down the near side wing. Pulls back a little bit, comes closer to the sideline before he decides to dump that one off to Franzoni. Franzoni's just going to drop it off to Scanlon as Franzoni goes to get a change. Back on the field now is Stuver as he picks up the ball from Scanlon. Stuver with it now, waiting for his players to get there to develop some kind of play. As Stuver tries to take a weird angle shot, bit too far out, not much of a chance of that one getting on net. Nonetheless, 10:04 left to go in quarter number 2 of play. Starting back behind the net now is Stecker. Stecker tries to get a wraparound shot off, stopped by Seamus Hand, and Cummings is going to pick that one up. Cummings drops it back off to Hand. His Hand brings it out a little bit, back to Cummings.
And that was just another great save by Hand. I mean, he's really out of his net. I mean, he might want to start scoring some goals himself here, Kyle.
Might as well get a shot on net as the Lakers haven't seen any in quite some time, so anything would do for the Lakers at this point in time. As Connor Aspinall is going to bring this one down in. He'll pass that off to Corey O'Connor. O'Connor, as we mentioned, only one shot in this game despite being the goal-scoring leader for the Lakers. The only goal from Emmett Starwitz, the assist leader for the Lakers, who has the ball now at the high point, working it down the near side wing, trying to cut inside, pushed out by Adonzino. Back to Aspinall. Aspinall trying to drive down in, but he gets pushed to the side from Stuver. Aspinall's going to drop it behind the net to Liam Sexton. Sexton with some fancy footwork creates a bit of an opening, gets it out to the point. A shot from Starwitz, and that one's just going to be put right down by the net of Wagner. And that was really the first time in this about half of the game that we've seen the Lakers actually get a scoring opportunity, Paulie.
Absolutely, but just absolutely shut down by Cortland as we see 2 flags fly. But a great chance for the Lakers, as now we'll see Cortland here with another offensive zone.
As Cortland's going to bring this one back to Ryan Eccles. Eccles going to roll it off to number 24, Kradoceville. Back to Eccles to Kradoceville. Kradoceville's taking this down the far side wing. He's going to try to get it back behind the net. He will get it there, but a bobbled pass from Stecker. Stecker's able to pick it up anyways. So he brings it out to the front of the net, gets it out to the point in Yancey, but Yancey couldn't get a pass off there, picked up by the Lakers, but whistle's blown as they will find themselves down a man once again, and the ball will remain in the zone of the Lakers. So Cortland going to have a man advantage and going to be in their offensive zone. We talked about how they were very dominant when they had the man advantage, 36% conversion rate. They did it this game already on the one penalty the Lakers have taken. What do the Lakers have to do besides being more disciplined to try to keep their men on the field, one, but two, really be able to lock things down defensively and stop the scoring onslaught that we've seen come from the Red Dragons?
I mean, absolutely. Well, now that 36% has just went up a notch, but be more physical. Obviously, Cortland is getting the ball because obviously Oswego really can't handle it, but also they're being physical. They're hitting guys. It looks like some are maybe even like cross-checking, but Cortland has to get stuff done as they are doing, getting it into the back of the net. But Oswego, again, with a man down, I mean, history may repeat itself, but they just need to be more physical on their play, Kyle.
Without a doubt. But coming up tonight at 10 on WTOP 10, don't go anywhere because we'll have your local Oswego news from the WTOP 10 news team. Don't go anywhere, 10 o'clock tonight on WTOP 10. As 7:43 remains in the second quarter of play, going back to their respective nets is Seamus Hand and Travis Wagner as we get set to get play back rolling. The Lakers down a man for the next minute, and that man would be who else but Corey O'Connor, the scoring leader. So the Lakers down one of their most impactful players for the next minute as Cortland tries to extend their lead. Back up to the point in Rothman. Rothman passes it around. Back down behind the net. Working it around the perimeter. The Red Dragons trying to find somebody inside, but the Lakers doing a good job closing down the passing lanes. Back to Rothman at the point. Over to Scanlon. Scanlon behind the net to Yancey. Yancey passing it back around. And Rothman with it again, and that one's going to go wide of the net. Another shot for Rothman. He's got a few in this game now, but none of them have been on net, Paulie.
I mean, but that is just consequential because Oswego, a good defense with a man down. I mean, there's a lot less more spacing here, even though they are passing the ball a lot more. They still can't get shots on net, so Oswego doing a great job with a man down.
Backdoor looking for Yancey. Yancey's got it again. He's going to bring it back to Scanlon. Scanlon works it down, and a whip of a shot goes over the net from Swedlund. Swedlund with a kind of a sidearm shot almost. Just kind of whips it from its waist and skies it over at the net as Yancey's going to start things off for the Red Dragons. 6 seconds on the shot clock. They got to get something off here as it's ticking down. And it's going to be a whip of a shot from the point from Scanlon and make it 2 on the night for him. And his second man advantage goal. That's almost a copy and paste of what we saw him do just earlier in this quarter.
I mean, as the shot clock was going down and as the man advantage clock was going down as well, he gets it in the last second, and he's a man to look for. He's already got 2 points in this contest here.
And with a second left on the shot clock there, just whips one from the high point, and it clears right behind the net of Seamus Hand as face-off immediately goes right back down into Lakers zone, and it's picked up by Cortland. Stecker's got it as he works it up to Delaney. Back down to Stecker.
Will score by number 10, Ryan Scanlon.
Stecker drops this one back off behind the net, picked up by Rothman. Rothman with a jab step for trying to create some space. Couldn't do so, so he elects to pass it back up towards midfield, as this one's going to be ran across by Credo Chaville. He's going to get this one off to Eccles. Eccles and Credo Chaville trades places as he drives down the far side wing and dropping to the ground on a save is Seamus Hand. Pass off to Max Hahn. Hahn's going to work this one up the center of the field to Stevenson. Stevenson gets bodied by 3-4 Cortland players, and this one's going to be picked up by Credo Chaville. Credo Chaville coming down, passes it off up into the middle, and a whip of a shot, and that one's going to find the back of the net too for Nick Stecker. As the lead is now 8-1.
And the physicality just is not there for Oswego. As you saw, one of them went down after a swarm of 3 Cortland players knocked him down, got the ball, and within seconds, yet another goal, and they have 8 unanswered here at Laker Turf.
And 5:42 left to go in this contest, and that's Stecker's second goal of the game now. 2 players with 2 goals in Ryan Scanlon and Nick Stecker for the Red Dragons. As the Lakers finally managed to work the ball down into Cortland Red Dragon zone. It's been quite some time since they had any sort of possession down in the zone. Cortland really just dominating this game on all fronts.
Absolutely. They really need to capitalize here to get any momentum up for Oswego, so we can see what they do here in the offensive zone.
As Starwitz works it up to the point. Gets up there looking for a mismatch. Got a one-on-one with Kane. He's going to elect to dump it off as Corey O'Connor has it now. Back to Liam Sexton behind the net. Back to Starwitz. Up to Connor Aspinall. Aspinall now gets the match he wants. Tries to go outside and get a shot, but not even close to the net. That one's way left as Liam Sexton will bring this one back in for the Lakers. Sexton's got a one-on-one against Bowen. Bowen's going to take Sexton down to the ground on that one as a flag's thrown. 2 flags in the air as a battle ensues on the ground. Able to pick it up was Emmett Starwitz, and another flag is thrown by the official. 3-4 flags on the field right now as this one's going to go past midfield into the net of Yancey before the whistles are blown. And the Lakers are going to find themselves a man up now, and Paulie, this is the time, if the Lakers have ever had any, to try to get something on the board and make a comeback here.
Absolutely. I mean, I talk about physicality, but can't really tackle people to the ground, so can't really do that as Oswego will have a minute with a man up, and like you said, this is as good a time as any. You're in the Cortland zone, you have possession, get the ball in the back of the net, maybe start a rally going here, Kyle.
As the Dragons will find themselves down Alex Thrasher for the next minute. And also on top of that, they will be without number 43, Dino Bowen. So the Lakers with a heavy man advantage, 2 men advantage in the defensive zone right now. As the Lakers down in a shot, that one's going to be blocked away from the stick of Wagner. Going down the other way now, Cortland. As Oswego on the attack, trying to get a turnover is Corey O'Connor, as dropping a shoulder into Cortland player was Rob Nelson, putting him on the turf, looking up at the sky. Seamus Hand back over to Jackson Cummings. Cummings takes this towards the near sideline as he's going to dump it down off to Hayden Coney. Coney drops this one down to Trey Jones. Trey Jones back to Coney. Coney back to Broadman. Broadman works it down to Starwitz. Starwitz down to Garrett Elston. Elston with a shot that hits the side of the net. A turnover, the Lakers get it once again. This one's going to be picked up by Corey O'Connor. Back in front for Broadman. Broadman bounces it off the turf, but just a tad too high, and it goes just over the crossbar. 3:13 left to go in quarter number 2.
Now, even with a man or even two men down, Oswego still couldn't capitalize anything. The goalie for Cortland was out of the net. They just couldn't find anything in front to put it home. And even with a shot on net, it went right over the goalpost. So a real good time to capitalize if you're the Lakers, but another squandered opportunity here.
And Starwitz with some pressure on the far side from Delaney. Starwitz able to get a lane before he turns around and tries to pass it back off, but instead turns it right over to Delaney. Delaney speeding down the other way. Now it's just him and Trey Jones. He's going to pass it off to Sam Rothman, and Rothman finds his first goal of the game. And that's number 9 for the Red Dragons with 2:51 left to go in quarter number 2. But nonetheless, Rothman quiet the first half, but now he finds his stride.
Just another lane for him to run, and he got this ball and inserted it quickly. So Rothman getting his name in the score sheet with a goal, and I mean, 9 unanswered goals here for Cortland. I mean, they are looking very unstoppable here.
And Rothman 3 points on the game, 2 assists to add to that 1 goal now. Really being effective on all ends of the field as Cortland swarms Oswego's off defensive zone. And this one's going to be picked up once again by Yancey. As Yancey brings this one down into the corner, drops it off to Stecker. Stecker back behind the net. He's going to drop it off to Rothman. Rothman works it up, and he's just going to ground this one like a baseball up to Eccles. Eccles is going to take this one, drives down in the near side. He's going to turn around, didn't get the look he wants. Repossessions, works his way inside, a fake shot, gets one off, but just pushes it right of the net. But a fake shot there allows him to get a whole nother opportunity with that lane.
For sure, a lot of spacing, and I couldn't tell if that one hit off Seamus or if it just bounced completely to the left of him. But either or, Oswego lucky to have that break there for him.
As Credo Treville drops this one back behind the net. And back in the front to Credo Treville. He tries to do a spin around backhand shot. Seamus Hand saw that one come and drops down and able to stop that one. But a pretty attempt nonetheless, as this one's picked up and brought across by Hahn. Hahn's going to keep on pushing. He fights off a slew of defenders. Back to Sexton. Sexton couldn't possess the ball as he tries to jump around and grab it. And possession will remain in the Lakers' favor as Hayden Coney is going to bring this one in. Coney brings it in and drops it back to Connor Aspinall. Aspinall now picking up some speed, working his way down. Jab step out to the left. Back to Corey O'Connor. O'Connor now coming in. Hesitation, comes back towards the center of the field, trying to work it towards that near side wing. Absolutely locked down by Cortland. Nowhere to go for O'Connor. He can't get inside. He has to work it back behind the net. Drops it off for Sexton once more. Sexton now working it out the far side. Trying to bring it towards the inside. A spin move. Gets a little bit of space, but still on him was Bowen. Aspinall at the point now. Brings it down the near side wing. Trying to cut inside, but Cortland not allowing any inside movement for the Lakers. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Aspinall brings it out. He tries to spin around. He is on him like glue. No shot available. Hayden Coney has to take it out now, and he gets a shot off, and that one's going to be blocked away by Wagner. Back to Aspinall. Aspinall has it, and whistle is blown. It appears to be a timeout with 26.5 seconds left to go in quarter number 2 of play. The Lakers had a chance there on the shot from Hayden Coney, but other than that, they had the possession down there for a good minute, drained the entire shot clock essentially because Cortland was just on them, not allowing anything to get inside.
I mean, some good offensive zone time and wear the goalie out. I mean, if you're not going to do anything else, then just get into the zone. I mean, there was a lot of times where they passed the ball around and there were 2-3 guys on one person. So just make sure, move the ball around rather, and hopefully it'll find the back of the net.
And here at WTOP 10, sports isn't the only thing we have to offer as amateurs, a show offering a fresh look at Oswego organizations. Watch as hosts Evan Shams and Emily Mike try their hand at new clubs on campus and grow from amateurs to pros. from flag football to ice hockey and everything in between. Watch Amateurs Sundays at 9:30 p.m. only on WTOP 10.
I think for right now, maybe the Oswego men's lacrosse team might want to use some amateurs and see, if they can try out for this team. I mean, I think they'd take any help they can get down 9-1 against Cortland, but hey, that's just me.
Yeah, this one is what we would call a barn burner if it was inside, as the score is getting up high, but the temperature keeps dropping more and more by the second here at Laker Turf Stadium, as Sexton's going to wheel this one back behind the net. Quick start and stop, jumps back the other way, does the same move twice, can't create any separation, just on them too much. Tries to get it out to up to the point in Starwitz. Starwitz now 5 seconds. He's got double teamed on him, and poking that one away was Alex Thrasher. Thrasher's going to be able to pick this one up and just hold it till the final buzzer blows of the half. After 30 minutes of play, Cortland Red Dragons with a whopping 9 goals to the Oswego's measly 1. Just a complete display of domination by the Cortland Red Dragons.
I mean, just a dream scenario for the Lakers in the first minute or so, getting up early on Cortland, but had no answer in the last, say, 29 minutes of the game. So Oswego, they have a lot to talk about during the break here, Kyle.
And if you are the coach of Oswego, what are you telling the players right now as you gave up 9 unanswered?
I'd say get your head in the game and just play some ball. I mean, it's a very important game. We have a whole half left, so let's try and go out there. And most importantly, if I were the coach, I'd say have some fun here, boys.
Yeah, getting absolutely thumped is never a fun time. So we'll see if anything changes around on the Lakers' end. But we're going to toss this over to break. And when we come back, we'll have the preview of the second half and second half action. So don't go anywhere here on WTOP 10.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West First Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see? All these clubs are looking.
They looking for me.
There's hockey,
There's improv,
so much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free.
Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
And welcome back into the Laker Turf Stadium here on WTOP 10 for your halftime report between the Cortland State Red Dragons and the Oswego State Lakers. I'm Kyle Spizak alongside Paul Beatty. And Paul, what did you see in that first half from both teams?
I mean, just a lot of physicality from Cortland out the gate, and they did not let up. Oswego, they got double teamed, they got triple teamed, they got brought down to the ground. Cortland just kept on scoring, and Oswego really had no answers.
And if we jump right into the halftime summary, taking a look at some of the stats between both of these teams, a whopping lead in almost everything for the Red Dragons. Shots 33-12, goals 9-1, assists 5-0, and really just everything. The Cortland Red Dragons are dominating. Face-offs 8 out of the 11 won. Ground balls 18 compared to 13. 2 for 2 on the extra man. I mean, this is the perfect case scenario for the Red Dragons.
I mean, absolutely, and a lot of that with the shots coming 33-12. A lot of that comes with the offensive zone time, and Oswego has had absolutely none compared to Cortland. And it's a great job by their defense, and like I said, the physicality is basically unmatched here, and Cortland just on every facet is being the best it could be at this point.
But this isn't the only game being played right now in the SUNYAC. As we take a look around this, around the SUNYAC, earlier today, the Oneonta Red Dragons 22-12 over the New Paltz Hawks. Geneseo beats Brockport by a score of 12-5, and currently going down in Plattsburgh, the Potsdam Bears lead by 10-1.
I mean, just taking a look into the SUNYAC, I mean, if you look at Geneseo, who beat Oswego just a couple days ago, I mean, again, they are just not letting off the gas pedal as they won 12-5 today against Brockport, and they are distributing the ball a lot. We have 5 different guys with 2 or more goals. We'll call it 2 goals here, and the ball, unlike Oswego, is getting distributed very well there in Geneseo. And in Brockport, you got Nick Askin, who had 3 goals. So that game, not too close, but Geneseo, who is above Oswego right now in the standings, might get that second slot in the playoffs.
As we take a look at between the pipes, these 2 goalies on the field here at the Laker Turf Stadium. First, taking a look at Seamus Hand. He has gotten peppered so far in this game. The first half faced 19 shots, lets 9 of them in, saves 10 of them, a .526 save percentage. But you really can't put that a lot of those goals on him, as it was just defensive breakdown. He got hung out to dry a couple of times. And this Cortland team, they can snipe it from outside the box.
Absolutely, and a couple man advantages for Cortland as well will do the trick on 2 of those goals. And even though he saved more than he's allowed, 10-9, it's a very small margin. So, I mean, Cortland's doing all they can to get onto Hand, and it's showed on the scoreboard.
And on the flip side, Wagner, 6 saves, 1 goal against with an .857 save percentage. Hasn't faced much, but he's been dominant in what he has had to do. So we take a look at the scoring leaders for both of these teams. Right now, only 1 goal on the board for the Lakers, so it's not hard to see who the leader is in that with Emmett Starwitz. Quick, right out the gate, scores a minute in. Lakers have been dead quiet ever since. On the other end of things for the Red Dragons, Rothman, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points with 4 shots on goal. Rothman alone doing more than the entire Lakers team has.
I mean, that's just a dream scenario if you're Rothman. I mean, coming into this game, you know that you have a big task, and that is to come in here and try and get to the Oswego State Lakers goalie, and he's done that. He's found the players, but he's also found himself in the back of the net, so he's been doing all he can on 4 shots, 1 goal, and 2 assists with 3 points. I mean, amazing for him. Just a real good way to show out here tonight.
Without a doubt. But if you're looking for anything else to watch here on WTOP 10, look no further. It's the bigger picture. Looking for a way to keep updated on the latest SUNY Oswego events? Tune into the bigger picture for your guide to all things Oswego. Hosts Jaden Jiggets and Kayla Moore tell you everything you didn't know to stay active on campus. The bigger picture airs Thursday nights at 9:30 only on WTOP 10. And as the lights are starting to come on, as the sun goes down here at Laker Turf Stadium, can only imagine the temperatures are dropping more and more. But for the Red Dragons, action has not stopped being red hot. Straight out the gates, return on the Lakers score. They return one right back immediately, and they just keep on upping it more and more from their 9 unanswered goals. I mean, it'd be understandable maybe if there was 4 unanswered, the Lakers scored halfway through a run, but no, 9 unanswered, Paulie.
I mean, absolutely, and they are wearing shorts out there, but even though it may be cold here in upstate New York, like you said, they are practically breathing fire, and that might be to do with all the adrenaline that's going on. But 9 unanswered goals for Cortland, I mean, it's a great scenario. You go down 1, you say, hey, we got to come back, and they've come back, and they did not stop. 9 unanswered, and we'll see. They are slated, if history repeats itself, to get 18 goals to 2 is what they're projected. So we'll see if Cortland can keep up this red-hot start into the second half and see if Oswego can stop drowning in that lake and actually get some more goals here.
And as you can see from the flags here at Laker Turf Stadium, the wind is whipping out there. So as the conditions may not be in the favor of each team, would like it a little bit warmer, that doesn't matter because they still have 30 more minutes of lacrosse to be played. As 15 minutes is on the board, we get set for face-off here at Laker Turf Stadium. This one's going to be won by the Lakers, brought up by Logan Prescott. Prescott wins that. He drops it back down to Stevenson. Stevenson has it at midfield. He's going to work it towards the near side a little bit more before dropping it off to Broadman. Broadman with it back to Stevenson. Stevenson works it towards midfield. Inside the circle, going to elect to pass this off to Aspinall as Stevenson gets a change. O'Connor's going to pick this one up back to the circle as the Lakers not really attacking much, kind of playing out further to start this half. O'Connor coming down the far side wing, dumps it off back behind the net to Sexton, to Starwitz. Starwitz with it now, jab step left, goes right, trying to work it towards the middle of the field. Couldn't get a shot off there, tries dumping it off to O'Connor. O'Connor couldn't connect on it, gets in front for Coney, and what a save for Wagner, dropping down and stopping the one-time opportunity for Coney. Hauling it down the other way now is the Red Dragons, Adonzino, before it's passed back up to the point in Scanlon. Scanlon works it down the corner to Rothman. Rothman behind the net. Back to the far side, and Yancey. Yancey brings it up to the point in Stuver. Stuver trying to work it down in, back to Yancey. Yancey at the point. Yancey with a shot, nails it off the turf, bounces it over the top of the net, and Cortland's going to stay in possession of this one. Bringing it out now will be Stecker. Stecker behind the net. As creating a screen for him was Stuver. Stuver trying to take this one out, turns around and just rips one. That's going to be an easy save for Hand as he's going to pass this one right out to Cummings.
And just a great sequence by both teams and 2 really good stops and saves by the goalie. And if Hand could have done that just a little more, though not to his discredit, earlier in this game, I mean, it would be a lot closer, but just, again, 2 great saves by both goalies here in the starting sequence in the second half.
As Corey O'Connor has this at the Oswego State logo, going to work it down the wing a little more. It dumps it off to Liam Sexton. Sexton going to work this back behind the net, passes it off to Coney. Coney trying to work it inside, takes a shoulder and forced outside by Lembo. Out to the point, trying to work this one down to Starwitz as he's got some heavy pressure on him. He's going to have to dump it behind the net to Sexton. Sexton gets tripped up a little bit, but keeps things going up to Aspinall. Aspinall now trying to work it down the wing. He's able to do so. Couldn't get a shot off, just has to dump it down to Coney. Coney out to Broadman. Broadman with a shot. He nails the top left corner of the post and crossbar and goes all the way back out of bounds. The best opportunity the Lakers have had since goal number 1, and it dings the pipe.
And that's when you kind of got to think your goalpost there, as maybe that could have been a rally starter for Oswego. Who knows? But just a great play by the pipe right there. I mean, sometimes you don't really need the goalie, but it's also good to have your pipes.
As Starwitz takes a rip, but that one goes wide. Coney's going to pick it up behind the net as he tries to get a wraparound going, and that one goes off the post once again. Out of his net trying to play this one was Cortland, and he's able to get it out. The goalie, Travis Wagner's running this one out himself before he finally dumps it off to a midfielder in Joe Delaney as Delaney gets taken down at center field. No call, no flag, as picking it up and going down the other way now is Scanlon. Scanlon's going to dump this one off, and a shot in front going to be blocked away by Hand. In front, Scanlon again, and he's able to get that one in. Relentless effort from the Red Dragons. Couple of rebounds, couple of bodies being thrown around, but they get right back up. And on a diving shot, Ryan Scanlon's able to get that one back in the net. And that will be Scanlon's third goal of the game. A hat trick for Ryan Scanlon. And what a night for number 10 with the 10th goal.
And, I mean, he's just taking it upon himself. But a great sequence to start us off. I mean, Cortland goalie almost came out to the midfield and got the ball out in time. Went back to tend his goal. And then in a slew of a bunch of sequence of events, Cortland somehow finds the ball, gets it back into the net in a timely manner. And now we're looking at double digits here for Cortland.
As back at the point, this one's going to be picked up by the defenseman in Prachunas before Aspinall is going to pick it up at the point. Tries to drive it down the wing. Does so with some heavy defensive pressure. He can't get inside, forced out. Gets inside, but a shot goes off the stick of Wagner and over top of the net off of a shot from Aspinall. Some heavy defense being played from Adam Nizo. Going back the other way now is the Red Dragons. In front of the net, looking back door, and the perfect tic-tac-toe pass play, and another goal for Sam Rothman. Make it 2 on the night for him. And Paul, I don't think you can get more of a picture-perfect passing play than you did right there for the Red Dragons.
I mean, tic-tac-toe, if you can add 5 more things that start with T. I mean, just beautiful passing, coming up the lane, throws it to his right, back to the left of the goalie, and then to the other side. I mean, there was really no chance. The ball was flying, and I'm seeing 3 ones on the board, and 2 of them are going to Cortland's side.
Pure domination from the Red Dragons, as the faceoff's going to be won by the Lakers. They track back into their own zone. That one's going to be passed from Connor Postal across the field to Hahn, back to Postal. Postal going to bring this one back, just passes it off to Seamus Hand. Hand's going to pass this one. He was looking for Corey O'Connor. O'Connor couldn't collect the pass. As a Red Dragon goes down to the turf, no call made. Still battling through a slew of Oswego players. It was Miles Kane, as Kane's going to try to bring this one down in, and a huge back check from Connor Aspinall. Runs all the way back down, able to knock that one out of the stick of Kane. The other way now, the Lakers trying to get some momentum going. Sexton's going to pick it up. He drops this one back to Prachunas. Aspinall with it now. Aspinall is just slowly taking it across the center field circle before he dumps it off to Corey O'Connor. O'Connor running towards midfield more. He tries to find a lane. Going down the near side wing, he has to turn around, looking for something. Goes behind the net to Sexton. Sexton out to the point in Starwitz. Starwitz trying to get something going, looking for somebody inside. And he finds Aspinall. Aspinall with a perfect opportunity in front, no one near him. But an even better save from Travis Wagner, able to get his body out in front of that one. I don't know how that one didn't find the back of the net.
And that was just a beautiful save. That's what has kept Cortland so dominant. Even though they've scored 11, maybe 2 or 3 could have snuck in. This could have been a much closer game, but throwing his body out on the line, just completely shutting it down, and Oswego still 1 point to their name.
As Sexton is back to Starwitz. Starwitz on the near side, trying to bring it out in front. Starwitz with a shot and another save from Wagner. As over the PA, you can hear the Lakers bench using noisemakers, and noisemakers prohibited at Laker Turf Stadium during the game. This one's going to be passed off back behind the net to Rothman. Rothman with it. Back behind the net once again over to Stecker. Stecker trying to work it up the side. He gets it to Yancey. Yancey brings it up to the point. Now Josh Michael. Michael over to Ryan Smith. Back to Michael. Back to Smith. Smith brings this one back out to the Lakers logo. He's trying to come in with some speed. Coming down the far side wing, trying to cut back inside. Couldn't do that, but he finds a wide open in front Sam Rothman as he tries to go behind the head with that one, but it goes off an Oswego defender. Seamus Hand picks that up with ease, and now coming the other way is Connor Postal. Postal works it up the middle to Cummings. Cummings coming down with some speed. He gets an inside lane, and he tries to get a shot off, and with the deep hole just blocked wide by Wagner. And Wagner having himself a game, running up the save total right now.
I mean, absolutely, and when Oswego really has nothing going for them, they think they have a chance, then they meet the goalie, and it's all blown down.
Back down in the corner to Rothman. Rothman goes back behind the net to Stecker. Stecker again. Out to the point. Up to Franzoni. Franzoni trying to work it inside. He gets pushed out by Dongelwick. Back out to the point for Michael. Michael trying to bring that one down in. He's going to pass it off to Smith. Over to Yancey. Yancey brings it back outside of the box now as he's going to try to work his way down in with some speed. He gets a wide open pass in front for Stecker. Stecker fakes it high and drops it down in low. And it's a 12-1 lead now for the Red Dragons. 12 unanswered goals. This is a nightmare scenario for the Lakers.
I mean, Stecker just came out to play today, and there is another hat trick for Cortland. I mean, really no chance again for Hand because there's really not being any defense as there is a prominent net front presence here for Cortland. You can bing, bang, boom some passes, but at the end of the day, it's looking to go into the net almost every single time here for Cortland. So it's an absolute onslaught here on offense for them.
Yeah, the Lakers defense not able to close out and keep Cortland Red Dragons out of the front of the net in the high slot. As a turnover right there almost gives a chance for Stecker to get number 4 on the night as he just scored. Number 3. The Lakers just not able to close down the front of that net and keep the Red Dragons on the perimeter. While on the other end, that's exactly what the Red Dragons have done. They have not allowed the Lakers to get inside the zone at all whatsoever. And another pass inside there, and that one's going to be stopped by Seamus Hand, but that was almost another opportunity for a highlight reel play for Joe Delaney.
That was a nice snag there by Hand. Just try and keep the score to a minimum now. I mean, it's already 12-1, and you're just hoping your boys can get something going on offense as that one is airmail.
And the Lakers there, a pass that is yet another turnover. The Lakers can't stop the turnovers in this game. Take a look at the turnover differential in this one. The Cortland Red Dragons, 8 turnovers on the game. The Lakers nearly double at 15.
And, I mean, you just got to control that. It's a big part of the game. And with Oswego given 15 turnovers, I mean, points are going to generate from those.
And the Red Dragons starting to bring it down in from the point in Credo-Chaville. Credo-Chaville trying to work it inside. He gets taken down on a body from Owen Spearing. Gets pancaked, and it's going to be a turnover for the Red Dragons. Lakers find themselves coming out with it now. It's going to be run out by Owen Spearing. Spearing gets it all the way up to midfield. Doesn't know what to do with it. Tries to launch it across the way. He gets it to Max Hahn. Hahn's going to get it across midfield himself. Couple of jab steps, creates a little bit of space to work his way back inside. Too many Red Dragons as they find a backdoor pass and trying to get that one in, and the Lakers finally get a goal. Tyler Stevenson wide open backdoor from the feed from Max Hahn, and the Lakers now finally getting a goal after a near 30-plus minutes without a goal.
I mean, here, don't call it a comeback, Kyle, but this could be the one to get the Lakers going. And that one from Stevenson, he gets on the board with just under 5 minutes to go. And, hey, maybe this can be the rally that Oswego needs.
as the faceoff's going to be won by Logan Prescott. But the Lakers finally getting on the board after a very, very, very long-awaited dry spell to end. Scored in the first minute of this game, didn't score until the 5-minute mark in the third quarter after that first goal. So this one's going to be picked up by Stecker before he passes it back to Macknick. Macknick works this one down to Delaney. Delaney down in the corner. This one's going to be Rothman. Rothman up to Delaney. Delaney over to Stecker. Stecker looks across the field to Stuber. Stuber with a shot. That one's going to go wide net, right of the net. And we talked a little bit about the implications of this game before the game started. If the Lakers won, they secure their spot in the playoffs. Cortland locked down at number 1 with this win in the conference. No chance at anyone taking that from them. The Lakers, though, this was a crucial win for them, Paulie.
I mean, it just kind of takes the air out of the turf as another one slips by, but Oswego has fallen flat on their face here today, and I know they came into this game with high expectations, and it just hasn't executed. So if the Lakers, unless there's an unlikely comeback brewing up, I mean, Cortland kind of has this one in the bag as yet another goal goes by.
And an absolute ripper by Sam Rothman. Gets another goal on the board for the Red Dragons. That's a hat trick for him now, as 3 players on the Cortland Red Dragons currently sit with a hat trick, with Sam Rothman, Ryan Scanlon, and Nick Stecker all adding 3 into the back of the net. But along with 3 goals, both with 3 goals and 2 assists, is Rothman and Scanlon.
I mean, we have a hat trick squared here, Kyle, as 3 goals.
And back the other way, straight off the draw, Logan Prescott's able to put one in real quick for the Lakers. Cuts the lead down to 10. Not a huge momentum changer as you're still down by 10, but to get a goal right back off the draw, I mean, it at least pads it a little bit and doesn't make the hurt as bad.
I mean, they'll take anything they can get, and I think Hand is very pleased with what he's been seeing. I mean, they've scored more goals in about 3 minutes than they have the entire game, so maybe if they can still get something going. Hey, still, don't call it a comeback, Kyle, but they still have a lot of work to do with 3:40 left in the third and then 15 minutes more in the fourth.
Yeah, about 18 and a half minutes total remaining in this game. Three and a half in this quarter as Stecker back behind the net trying to work that one out. He will get it up to the point for Scanlon. Scanlon with it again. They're going to bring it down to Cunningham. Up to Eccles. Eccles with it at the point. Going to pass that one down in the corner. That one's going to be thrown by Rothman over to Stecker. Stecker up to Yancey, and Yancey tries getting a shot off, but that one's going to be stopped down by Seamus Hand. Other way now, Austin Srota for the Lakers, taking it up the near sideline, and that one's going to get stripped from him with ease as Yancey punches that one out of the pocket. It's going to be picked up now by Kretscheville. And back to Cunningham. Cunningham passes this one off to Eccles. Eccles going to take it down the far side wing, dancing around a couple Oswego defenders before that one goes in the stick of a defender, but Eccles gets it back. At the point now, Cunningham trying to bring it down in. He's going to turn around and throw it back to the point for Rothman. Rothman at the top, dancing around a couple of defenders, trying to set a pick with one of his teammates, but he's just going to work it back down behind the net. 38 seconds on the shot clock for the Red Dragons. As they work it up the near side, and trying to do a wraparound shot there was Rothman, but a save from Seamus Hand. His hand's going to escape all the way back to the out-of-bounds zone to start the play as he passes it up to Connor Postal. Postal's going to post this one back to Hand. And a risky pass there that's going to end up out of bounds and turns into Red Dragon possession as the Lakers could not keep their stick on that one. just another mistake and another turnover, which seems to be really the tail of the tape tonight for the Lakers.
Absolutely. It happened right in their zone. They couldn't even get it past that center line in midfield. And we're going to see here another offensive zone charge by Cortland here, and they'll contain possession.
This is going to be picked up by Stecker. Stecker's going to throw it out to Eccles. Eccles up to Cunningham. Cunningham now stop, trying to create some speed coming down the far side wing. With some good pressure on him from the defense, and Dongelwick couldn't get a shot off there. As Eccles now trying to work his way down in, and Eccles on that one bounces it off the turf and able to just get it into the top right corner of the net behind Seamus Hand. 14-3 now, as an 11-point game for the Red Dragons. Differential seems to be pretty steady as the Lakers will score one, but Cortland seems to come and score one right back, and it's been about that 10 to 11 point margin for about half of this third quarter.
Right, and Eccles just had a really good goal. It looked like it bounced off the shoulder of Hand, but going to his right side and then absolutely just laying one to Seamus's left. Yeah, to Seamus's left. He couldn't really do anything there. Maybe couldn't see it because the lights and the sun's down, but hey, another goal for Cortland, and they just keep it coming.
And this one's going to be picked up by McHugh. McHugh coming down, and McHugh with a shot. And now McHugh scores on a quick turnaround, less than 30 seconds, for the Red Dragons to slot one in the back of the net again.
Tail of the tape. I mean, just a complete onslaught. Now they go up by 12. I mean, they were up by 10 just a couple minutes ago, but now we go to 12, and that range of 11 and 10 goals is just bumped up here, Kyle.
And Aiden McHugh with the goal there, his second goal on the season. McHugh out of Maine Endwell, New York, a school that's actually known for baseball more than lacrosse. The 2016 Little League World Series champions airing out of Maine Endwell.
Did not know that, but hey, he came to play lacrosse here. He ain't no baseball fan, and he's making it known here today.
As the Lakers find their way across center field, and Jackson Cummings. Cummings gets the ball stripped from him, and this one's going to be picked up and brought back down to Wagner for the Red Dragons, as Wagner takes this one out, and he launches it all the way down the field. This one's going to be picked up by Stecker on the full field pass. Nobody stepped in to stop that one. 30 seconds left to go in quarter number 3. As you can imagine, the Red Dragons are just going to let the clock drain out on this one. No sense in peppering the score even more. You're already up by 12 with 17 left. But attacking down the near side is Stuber. Back to Stecker, and I was wrong, as another goal for Sam Rothman. He pokes that one in. Now 16-3. They did not want to waste the clock until the fourth quarter to get things going again. They keep the foot on the gas, keep accelerating faster and faster. 16-3, and that's now 3 goals in a minute and a half, Paulie.
Kyle, I honestly think they heard you on the field. They don't want you don't think they'd pepper the score. Look, they opened the wound. They put pepper, they put salt, sand, whatever you have it. They put everything in that wound. They shut you up real fast, and it's a 13-goal lead now for Cortland. Wow, just wow.
As a flag is thrown up in the air, 6.2 seconds left to go in quarter number 3 of play here at Laker Turf Stadium. As we await to find out who the penalty will be dealt to. But nonetheless, an absolute blowout here at Laker Turf Stadium, all in the favor of the Cortland Red Dragons. 6 points on the day now for Sam Rothman, 5 points on the day for Ryan Scanlon, 3 for Yancey, and 5 for Stecker as well. I mean, this team is really unstoppable. 3 players with 5 or more points, and then 3 extra players getting a point on this Cortland Red Dragons team in this game. I mean, how can you stop a team that has been as just dominant and quick as this team has been?
I mean, they are just moving the ball around. There's at least 10 players on the field with at least 1 point, and for Oswego, it's not looking the same, as only 4 points have been garnered only by 4 different players. So Cortland just had their number, and they're really calling on them right now here, Kyle.
And in all departments, the Red Dragons are cooking the Lakers right now. Both teams came into this game with the same record at 9-4, and the Lakers only 1 loss in the conference, Cortland with none. But if you took a look at the score on the scoreboard right now, Paulie, it sure doesn't feel like this is an even match team at all.
You would not think that they have an even record, and the Lakers were potent to come out here and make a statement for them. I mean, obviously, still 0-41 against them all time since 1980. I mean, Oswego has never won against Cortland, and they really wanted this one. So, so let's see if the Lakers can really get a comeback here, but very unlikely, but crazier things have happened.
And up in the North Country, another blowout of Bruin as Potsdam is up 14-1 over the Plattsburgh State Cardinals. A lot of games today that just ran up the score total, Paul. I mean, 14-1 up in Potsdam right now, 16-3 here, 22-12 down at New Paltz. I mean, really, today in the SUNYAC, just offense was on fire all around.
I mean, they know that the season's coming to an end, so they want to show up, show out, but obviously one team in each contest has shown up, show out, whether that be the Cortland Red Dragons or Geneseo or whatever else you have in the SUNYAC. So, I mean, teams came to play and some fell flat on their face. So, give a hand to all those who came out to play today, but some not close matchups here in the SUNYAC today.
And back out to Broadman. Broadman with a shot there, but that's going to get a tip of Wagner and go wide, as Corey O'Connor is going to start things back up from behind the net as we are into the 4th quarter of play now. The Red Dragons were down a man as that shot's going to be deflected, and it's good through the uprights as Corey O'Connor is going to go back down, pick up a ball in the corner, and get things started once again. The refs motion the clock to start, and O'Connor works it out to Trey Jones. Trey Jones with it now trying to work it down, but he faces a body from Thrasher immediately. He can't get by Thrasher as he pushes him further out of the zone. Back to Corey O'Connor. He tries to do a slick move in and out, but he's getting locked up by a defender in Bowen. As getting taken down was Broadman. It's going to be a penalty on the Red Dragons. Wasn't able to get anything going there. 14:07 left to go in quarter number 4 as the Red Dragons find themselves in the box once more. Well, the Lakers on that last one, they had the man advantage. Weren't even able to get a shot off on that possession, though.
I mean, Oswego would like to try and capitalize something here. Like you said earlier, kind of pad the loss just a little bit. But, I mean, again, 30 seconds is 30 seconds, so we'll see what they can do here with half a minute on the man advantage.
As Starwitz has it, works it out to Trey Jones, up to Sexton, over to Coney, behind the net to O'Connor. Starwitz, Sexton, back to Starwitz, back to Sexton. Sexton electing to pass it back to Starwitz before faking a shot. And Sexton driving in. Now he's going to attempt a shot, and he just pounds that one into the ground just right of the goalpost. 3 seconds left to go on the man advantage for the Red Dragons, and it looks like it will be another failed man advantage for the Lakers in this game. They have not been able to capitalize on it, making it 0-5 on man advantages now.
And that's exactly the opposite of what you want, especially when Cortland capitalized on 2 of theirs. And so the man advantage for both teams, I mean, one is so much different than the other as Cortland can capitalize on them, and Oswego, again, just seems to lose some traction on the man advantage.
Christian Lembo plows over Trey Jones on that possession, so the Lakers maintain the ball as Hayden Coney is going to bring it out towards the Laker logo and to center field as he dumps it off to Trey Jones. Low pass. Trey Jones could not keep that one in the head of his stick. This one's going to be thrown back down to Sexton. Sexton behind the net. Running the other way, trying to find somebody in front in Broadman, and Broadman misses on the pass there, couldn't get it. And running out was Lembo, but some heavy pressure from Starwitz, as Starwitz is really chasing down the Cortland defense as Delaney works it down the other way, trying to find a guy out in front, and they'll do so. A shot that was whiffed on. It seems like it just kind of slipped out of the head of the stick for Adeninzo. As this one goes back out to the point in Stuver. Stuver walking the line now, bringing it back down, works it lower into the zone for Smith. Back out to the point. This one's going to be Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh over to Stuver. Stuver with a fake, drives into the left, passes it back out to the point. And a fake shot. This one's going to go off the post and stay out. But a shot opportunity almost went in for number 6 once again.
Hands, just got to give a hand to the Pipes. I mean, again, as always, the Pipes, that's why they're there. They can make or break a goal, and that one does not go in because of the orange bars that are across the net here.
And that was almost goal number 5 on the night for Sam Rothman, but he hits the post on that. Picking it up now is Ryan Scanlon at the near side wing. He's going to just drop it off to Stuver. Stuver is going to fly that one across the zone for Eccles. Eccles fakes a shot, brings it down in deeper, back behind the net now, over to Stecker. Stecker up to the point. Gets it to Scanlon. Scanlon working it across the middle, trying to drive down in right, and he'll get a shot off, and that one finds the back of the net. Another goal for Ryan Scanlon. It appears it'll be a goal. It will be a goal for Scanlon, and that's now his 4th on the night as well, as him and Sam Rothman both sit at 6 points on the night, and the Lakers, despite the goal, also find themselves in the box for a minute, as taking a penalty there was Jason Donglewick.
That was just a great goal there by Scanlon. I mean, we did have 3 players at 3 goals about, let's say, just last quarter. But instead of 3's company, now there's 4's company. Rothman and Scanlon came out to play. 8 goals between the two. And Oswego, some insult to injury, a goal, and then immediately in the box.
And 10:57 left to go. Not the largest deficit that there has ever been between the matchup of these two teams. Start back in 1980, but in 1984, the Cortland Red Dragons defeated the Lakers by a score of 24 points.
Well, hearing that, 14 doesn't seem as much, but staring at it right now, I mean, it's still hurting a bit. But, I mean, hey, 24, I mean, hey, that is 10 more than what we're seeing now, and, I mean, that would just be terrible.
As it is quite daunting looking out at that score with 10:57 left to go in this game. But speaking of 10, tonight at 10 o'clock, WTOP 10's Nightly News will be having their nightly newscast. So tune in to catch all your news local and in Syracuse. Get it with your experienced news anchors, reporters, and your local and national sports report. So don't go anywhere after this broadcast, because at 10, WTOP News will be live.
Oh, boy, I'm not going anywhere.
At 10:57 remaining in the game. 54 seconds left on the kill for the Lakers. And things have gotten quite dark outside since the first tip-off of this game. The lights are in full effect now. As the Lakers start with the ball now, they're going to whip this one back behind the net as Aspinall's trying to create some space. Aspinall just running around. Coming back out a bit further. Out to midfield before he bounces back down on the wing. Cuts across the center of the field. Still hasn't moved the ball around at all, as he has some heavy pressure as he's taking a lot of poke checks from Travis Moringer. As he gets poked again. Moringer trying to get it. A stick to the face for Aspinall. Aspinall grabbing the stick a little bit now. Not happy with the stick he caught in the face. Drops it off to Sexton after it seemed like Aspinall had the ball for about 30 seconds there. As Sexton now just running back and forth with it. Cortland playing a heavy press all the way out to the center field. As on him is Dino Bowen. Despite being up 14 goals, Paulie, this defensive pressure has not slowed down in the bit. They're not slacking off at all. Just because they're up 14 points doesn't mean they're not going to play a full 60 of their best lacrosse they can.
It has not let up, and the crowd is now letting Oswego know it. I mean, when you're down by 14 and you have only produced 3 goals, I mean, there's going to be some banter from the crowd saying, hey, you got guys instead of jogging around in the midfield. I mean, kind of get the ball going. I mean, instead of losing by 14, maybe 13 could be a good cushion for them here today.
And Eccles working this one on the near side wing. And like you said, Cortland's just really kept the pressure going this entire game. They look like they still have all the momentum in the world. While the Oswego, on the other hand, the team just looks dead and flat out there.
I mean, they have not had that pressure on Cortland like Cortland has had on Oswego. Obviously, you've seen over to the right side of us on the inner part of the field. I mean, whacks and jabs to the neck and to the face, it seemed like, and nothing was being called. And so if they're doing it to you, do it back to them.
Lakers not fighting back much on the physicality front. Really just getting run by this Cortland Red Dragons team, who leads in all categories, including that physicality battle, as Eccles has it now. Working it down towards the middle of the field before he decides to pass it back off. This one's going to be worked down to Franzoni. Franzoni drops it back to Ryan Smith. And Ryan Smith with it at the circle. 8:20 left to go in the fourth quarter. As Smith's going to dump this one off to Michael. Michael with the first goal of the game for the Red Dragons in this one. As they're going to pass it off to Swedlund. Swedlund's going to take this one down the wing. Back behind the net for the leading goal scorer in Sam Rothman. Rothman up to Franzoni, and Franzoni's going to get over to Michael. Michael going down the near side wing, and Michael with a snipe from the outside, and yet again, picking corners like it's target practice. This is light work for the Red Dragons.
I mean, absolutely. Got it right over the shoulder of hand into the corner of the left side, and I mean, again, they are not letting up. I mean, this is the same Cortland team that we've seen coming out the gate and even leaving it. So Oswego definitely has turned it down a notch. I mean, they are definitely not playing with the same sort of physicality they were in the first quarter. But, hey, that's just lacrosse, baby.
And face-off one by Logan Prescott as he gets shoved to the ground aggressively by number 52, Sean Gillespie. And back down the far side go the Red Dragons once more. Gillespie's going to sail this one back behind the net for Colton Smith. Colton Smith tries to work this one around for the wraparound. Couldn't get the shot off. Too much pressure on his strong side. Couldn't get the stick around for a shot. So this one's going to be thrown up the middle. Coming down now is Tristan Triolo. Triolo's going to dump this one off to Nagengast. Nagengast dumps this one up to Adani Zeno. Adonisio down the far side wing. He takes a shove from Stevenson, gets forced back behind the net. Stevenson keeping the pressure on. And that one's going to be a turnover of possession. And one of the players that Oswego normally has firing on all cylinders and is a leader of this team and leads in goals, Corey O'Connor, Paulie, he has been shut down and silent in this game. We've seen nothing from him.
I mean, even though he's taken 3 shots, none of them have connected. And obviously he was one of the players that we said keep an eye on. And the other player for Cortland was Sam Rothman, who has about 4 goals. So one of them is producing, but we have not heard a single thing about Corey O'Connor. Coming in with 33 goals, it's looking to stay that way, even though Sam Rothman coming into this game 41 goals, looking to be about 45 right now and possibly still counting.
And a shot there from Coney goes wide of the net. Going to be picked up by Sexton behind the net as he brings it back in. And the officials will wave the timekeepers to start the clock once more. Sexton brings us out towards the front of the net. He gets a quick escape turn, gets a shot off, and a nice move from Sexton there. Able to get one in the back of the net, and the Lakers finally answer back. after 5 unanswered. 18-4 now the score as Sexton nets that one in the back. Not going to have much of an impact on the game as a whole, but it makes you feel a little bit better going into the last 6 minutes of these games. At least you got something to go your way.
Absolutely. I mean, at this point, I'd ask where they put my money at, Kyle, but instead of the brick bank, I mean, he put that one in the back of the net, and, I mean, something to cheer for if you are an Oswego faithful.
And that was Liam Sexton's 50th goal of his career. So, big goal for him as you hear the Laker faithful stomping their feet across the stands. A good accomplishment for him in a 4-year career that has accomplished much for him in this Lakers program. A few years ago, the Lakers, one of the bottom teams in the SUNY, so even being at the point that they are now, a huge turnaround from where we saw them in that COVID year.
I mean, he's been through it all, and to have a 9-4 record this year, I mean, he's finally getting a taste of some winning. So congratulations to him. 50 goals on his career. That is absolutely phenomenal.
As this one's going to be worked around the point, back down to Nagengast. Nagengast with a shot. That one's going to go over the top of the net. As the Lakers look to a new goalie in net, Tyler Novak in net, as Seamus Hand, they said, your night is done. Too many goals found at the back of the net. Maybe not necessarily his fault. I mean, another one finds the back of the net right there for the Red Dragons, as that one's going to go in on the goalie who comes in replace. But nonetheless, I mean, Cortland, whether you have your starting goalie or your backup goalie in, they are going to find a way to find the back of the net.
They're definitely going to score. And a lot of Cortland fans out here at the turf field. So you see them giving a big hand. I mean, they came to watch a show here. 15 goals is the difference between the two. And, yeah, another one goes in, slips behind the net. And, again, it's been all Cortland tonight.
And Cortland being about only an hour and a half away from Oswego State. So not surprised to see them make the travel all the way out. But the last time these two teams faced, Cortland took that one by a score of 20-10. So these high-scoring affairs on the ends of Cortland, not really news when it comes to the matchup between these two teams.
Absolutely not. And one of the closest games that Cortland and Oswego had was back in 2017. An overtime winner from Cortland gave them yet another win, and still Oswego, after tonight, will still be looking at their first win against Cortland sometime down the road.
As a goose egg sits in that wins column between the matchup history of these teams. Corey O'Connor is going to work it out to the point for Jason Dongelwick. Dongelwick's going to try to crash down in. He takes a shoulder as he crashes on the right side of the wing, back to Sexton behind the net. He gets tripped up a little bit, finds O'Connor in front of the net. He gets smothered immediately. He has to work it back out to Aspinall. Aspinall now trying to cut across the center of the field, facing heavy pressure as he's getting cross-checked all the way around. Aspinall finds a way to get to the center, but no chance of getting a shot off as he gets smothered immediately. Coney turns around with a whip, able to get that one through the 5-hole of the goaltender in Charlie Falowski. So Lakers now 5 goals on the night. Like we mentioned, nothing they really do at this point is going to change the outcome. But Coney able to get one in the back of the net. And Cortland getting some experience in for their backup goalie in Charlie Falowski.
And Hayden Coney finally capitalizes on 9 shots. His first goal, first point today on 9 shots. And so that must feel good for him. But looking at the scoreboard, I mean, still a sight for sore eyes if you're Cortland.
3:53 left to go in this matchup. 19-5, the Cortland State Red Dragons lead the Oswego State Lakers. As this one's going to be worked back to Starwitz. Starwitz holding it at the Oswego logo. He'll start crashing down the right side. Working down in, passes it back to Sexton behind the net. Sexton on the left wing finds Corey O'Connor. O'Connor with a rip. That one ends up in the stands off of a player from Cortland. And 3:31 will remain. It'll be Oswego ball as Coney brings us in, works it immediately right back down to Sexton. Sexton trying to create a push to the front of the net. Tries to do a little bit of a jump shot, but can't get it off. Jumping around a couple of Oswego attackers was Charlie Falowski, and what a athletic play by the goalie to dance around, almost looking like an attack out there.
And he almost got shoulder checked. I mean, that's the kind of physicality that they needed throughout this game. And when you're going toward the goalie with that, I mean, you might get some stick jabs and a couple more haymakers coming your way if that ever happens.
As they work this one down to Sexton once again. Sexton out to the point for Aspinall. Aspinall toes it across the field to the far side. He's got pressure on him from Valencius. Back to Corey O'Connor. O'Connor with a shot, and that one's going to go off the post. O'Connor still can't find a point on the night, but Broadman gets his rebound on the one-time attempt. Lakers now 6 goals on the game, but a little too late. This is something they would have been looking for in the first half of play. Lakers finally starting to find their stride with about 2 to 4 minutes left in the game.
They got 2 unanswered coming off, so, I mean, they found their stride, but like you said, with 2:35, it's definitely going to be too late. But Max Broadman finds his first off 3 shots tonight, and a good little tip-in goal from a rebound, and, I mean, you'll take whatever you can get now, as Oswego now has some up-front offensive zone time.
Lakers looking a bit more alive than they had most of the game. Now they got a little momentum going. Granted, it is late in the game, but you want to end off on the highest note as you can, especially given that playoffs are looming around the corner. Donglewick's going to have this in the center circle. He'll pass it off to Corey O'Connor. O'Connor still held scoreless on the night despite being the point leader for the Lakers. O'Connor brings it down in, almost gets one there, but sails it right of the net. 2:05 left to go. 80 seconds on the shot clock. Be a turnover of possession as Cortland will pick this up. Brought out by Logan Schnars. Schnars is going to work it to his netminder. This one's going to be passed out by Falowski. Falowski goes across the way before they work it back to Falowski again. Falowski at half field now, as he's going to pass it up to Sean Gillespie. Gillespie works it down the corner. He gets it to Smith, who's going to work it behind the net. Smith tries to work it back up to the point. Zach Perlett drops that one. As up top with it now is James Violi. Far side wing picked up and passed behind the net from Pomilio. And behind the net, creating some space, is Caden Mora. Mora looks back door, and he will find a wide open James Violi. And that'll be goal number 20 on the night for the Red Dragons, the first of the night for James Violi, sophomore out of East Islip. And 1:14 remains on the clock. 14-point lead once more for the Red Dragons.
And Violi 1 for 1 today. I mean, it must feel nice. I mean, 1 shot, 1 goal. Got to feel good.
And Violi, a player that, given the size of this roster for the Cortland Red Dragons, 57 players, 3 goalies, a 60-man roster, not able to get much playing time. So when you do get your playing time and you're able to get out there and go 1 for 1 on the shot, it makes all the more to your day.
I mean, he got basically a third of the roster scoring at least 1 goal. So for him to be on the score sheet and on the scoreboard, I mean, to be this late in the game, I mean, it must feel nice to just get something in there.
And it's a bit of a display that shows just how deep this Cortland team really is. I mean, granted, we mentioned how large their roster is, but despite how large their roster is, it is talented from the top down to the bottom. They have players that have been subbing in all game long at different positions, and every single player has been able to create just as much of an impact as the other.
Absolutely. As you see the 20 on the board for Cortland, and then just the measly 6 out there for Oswego. With 15 seconds left, let's see if Oswego can get 1 more goal and 1 more thing for the Oswego faithful to be happy about tonight.
And Matt Bender with a rip. He sidearms that one. Just goes right of the net with 6 seconds exact left on the clock. Things are wrapped up. Cortland already celebrating on their sideline. They knew way before the 6-second mark that this game was in the bag, as Sexton's going to take this one out He'll just drain the clock, looking in front of the net. Coney tries to turn around and get a shot, but it bounces off. And the final buzzer comes as the Cortland Red Dragons defeat the Lakers 20-6 as the Red Sea storms the field. Congratulating their netminders on the win. The Lakers really need to try to forget this one and go back to the style of play that they were doing throughout the rest of the season. Just playing calm, smart, and being able to work the ball around. It seemed like they were trying too hard to drive in and force the passing lanes rather than give what they were given and try to work with that.
Absolutely, but it's at the forefront to congratulate the Cortland goalies. I mean, they absolutely locked this one down. Oswego had no answer, but to congratulate just the goalies wouldn't do the team justice, as it went through the defensemen, it went through the attackers, and obviously it went through everyone on the coaching staff. So an absolute dominant win today here for Cortland, as they'll improve 6-0 in the conference, and overall they're going to have their double-digit win in on this season at 10-4 as they stand in front of Geneseo and Oswego still.
And just bringing back up what you were saying, it wasn't just the goalies as well, even though they played out of their minds. The thing that really stuck out to me for Cortland, despite the 20 goals on the net, was really their defense and how solid it was from the first face-off all the way until that last buzzer. I mean, that defense was not allowing anyone inside. Everything was being forced to the outside, whether they were looking for a passing lane or trying to get a shot off. If they were looking for it, Cortland's bodies were in the way and their sticks were on their sticks. There was no chance for Oswego to really do anything once they entered Cortland's defensive zone.
Absolutely. There was that constant pressure that Oswego just did not have today. And so Cortland, I mean, takes this one pretty easy.
As we take a look at the game summary, looking at the stats of this matchup, goals 20-6, shots 56-37 in favor of the Red Dragons, ground balls 33-31, the Red Dragons lead. Oswego does have the lead in saves, 14 compared to 12, despite facing many more shots than Cortland. Face-offs about the same, and turnovers, Paulie. Just look at the turnover differential. 14 for Cortland, 22 for Oswego.
Absolutely, and like I said before, I mean, the points are going to generate off of those turnovers. But one thing that caught my eye, Cortland with 10 assists. They're moving that ball. Oswego, one singular assist, and that comes off the stick of Hahn. So, I mean, we can see here that Cortland moved the ball around, got the assist that they needed, at least half the amount of assists as points that they scored in Oswego, to 6 goals to only 1 assist. They have not set their priorities straight, as Cortland, again, a massive win.
As we go back around the SUNYAC, looking at the games that took place today, Potsdam currently up 17-4 in the fourth over Plattsburgh in that matchup in the North Country. Oneonta took the win 22-12 over New Paltz earlier today, as well as Geneseo taking a 12-5 win over Brockport in the matchups today. And any of those really stick out to you, Paulie?
Not really, but I mean, a lot of one-sided affairs, whether you look at Oneonta, whether you look at Geneseo, whether you look at Cortland. I mean, a lot of offense is being portrayed by one team, and a lot of defense is also being portrayed by one team as well.
As we now take a look at the standings in the SUNYAC, Cortland stays at number 1. Nothing really changes. Cortland locks that number 1 spot down. Geneseo's going to stay in front of the Lakers as the Lakers drop again. Potsdam, even taking this win, they will only get a 3rd win on the season, still behind the Lakers. Geneseo clinches a postseason berth with their win today. So the Lakers still searching for that guaranteed playoff spot.
Absolutely, and they have a tough task in Oneonta in just a couple days, even though the win-loss record assumes that Oswego is the better team. Obviously, we've seen here, even on even terms, Oswego did not come out to play. So we'll see if this loss affects them, as well as they lost 2 in a row after winning 9 straight. They won 9 straight, lost to Geneseo, then could lost to Cortland here today. We'll see if they can make that 3 in a row, or they can kind of change the tides and have a 5-2 win-loss record now in the conference, now that Cortland is 6-0.
And taking a look in this game, really looking for anybody that got going in this game. On the Lakers' end, had a couple players with 1 point. Nobody breaks over that 1 point. Starwitz with the first goal of the game. And really, that was the only one that got the tone going, and then it dramatically shifted. But on the other end of things, we had Sam Rothman and Ryan Scanlon both with 6 points on the game. 4 goals on the night for Rothman. I mean, can't ask for a more dominant performance than what Scanlon and Rothman put out tonight.
Absolutely. 4 goals with 2 assists for both of them, each matching 6 points. 12 points between the two of them. That's the kind of offensive production you want from your leading scorer, and then some depth guys. So unlike Oswego, O'Connor had a blank check today. I mean, there was really nothing going for him, but a good win for Cortland, and with Rothman and Scanlon both having 4 goals, a great outing for them today with 6 points each.
And 13 players on Cortland with a point today, but we're going to take a look at what the playoff bracket is going to look like in the SUNYAC right now. Slotted in, number 1, Cortland will be playing number 4, Potsdam, for the time being. So a lot can change still, as the season hasn't totally wrapped up yet. But as we're nearing into the last couple of games of the season and playoffs literally right around the corner, we get a good idea of what it's going to look like. And Geneseo versus Oswego is the likely other matchup. So, Paulie, we saw that the Lakers dropped both to Cortland and Geneseo this season. How do the Lakers have to bounce back from a beating like this one to be able to get ready for a matchup against Geneseo?
I mean, it's definitely going to be tough because, as you see in the last matchup against Geneseo, they almost lost by 10 goals. So losing by 14 and then almost by 10, as it's a 9-goal differential from Oswego to Geneseo. A lot more needs to be done on the physical end, but also get that offense going and let your goalie know that today was not on him tonight, as the defense and the offense kind of slowed down from the get-go here, as Cortland was off to a red hot start tonight.
And with that, the Cortland Red Dragons continue the streak and extend it to 42-0 with a victory over the Lakers, 22-6. In this matchup, the Red Dragons now clinch the number 1 seed in the SUNYAC playoffs, and Oswego falls to 4-2, now needing a win over Oneonta Saturday to punch their ticket to the postseason. We thank you for joining us all year long here on WTOP 10 TV. We could not do what we do here without you at home tuning in. For producer Kenny Gerard, directors Loudon Pratt and Ryan Ravenel, the best of our hardworking WTOP 10 crew, Paul Beatty, and for one last time, I'm Kyle Spizak. Have a good night, everybody, but don't go anywhere just yet, because at 10 o'clock tonight, WTOP 10 Nightly News will be on the air to give you all your local news stories, updates, local and national sports, and your weather outlook for the days coming up. And after a long 3-year career here in the press box between all sports, for the last time in my Oswego Laker career ever, I'm Kyle J. Spizak, signing off. Have a great night, everybody.